Good morning everybody. So let us continue with continuous compounding. In the previous video, if you remember, we studied continuous compounding using future value of lump sum formula, where if you just recall, we studied this particular problem and we studied how to calculate the value, future value, when it is compounding on a monthly basis, half yearly basis. Now we are going to go ahead with the next part, that is using continuous compounding for future value of annuity. So let's just read this problem. Suppose an investor invests 5,000 rupees every year. Okay, now what is happening here? 5,000 rupees is investing every year. Okay, in the previous problem it was 50,000 rupees at once, so we use lump sum formula. Here here is investing 5,000 rupees every year, so it is an annuity. So we have to use the annuity formula for a period of 4 years at the rate of 12% per annum. What would be the value of the investment after 4 years? Now when I say after 4 years, that means we are talking about the future value. So it is future value of annuity. I hope you're clear with that particular part first. Since they have asked what would be the value after 4 years, so it is future value, and 5,000 rupees every year, that means it is future value of annuity. But the further question is, if value compounds annually and monthly. Now here there is a twist. When I say annually, that means it is the normal formula. We can use normal formula, we can use M also, but it doesn't make any difference. Even if you don't use M in the first case, even if, just pay attention, listen to me very carefully, even if you don't use M in the first case, it's fine, because anyways the compounding is happening only once, annually. So it would be divided by 1 into 1. So anything divided by 1 is the number itself, multiply by 1, it's the number itself. So it doesn't make any difference even if you don't take M in the first case. Okay. So let's just understand. Suppose we take M, what happens? Okay, so it's A into bracket 1 plus I divided by, wherever there is an I you divide it by M, wherever there is an N you multiply it by M. I'm repeating it again and again so that it is fixed in your brain. Okay, wherever there is an I you divide it by M, and wherever there is an N you multiply it by M. So I divided by M, N into M. So 5,000 into 1 plus 0.12 divided by 1, the whole raised to 4 into 1 minus 1 upon 0.12 raised to divided by 1. So the answer that you get is 23,896. This is your normal future value of annuity. Even if you don't take, I'm repeating, even if you don't take M in the first case, it's okay, because M anyways is 1. So divided by 1 or multiplied by 1, it's one and the same. Whereas in case of monthly, we have to consider the M value. Okay, so because it is M becomes 12 times monthly, per month. How many months in a year? 12 months in a year. So it becomes 12 times. So it is I divided by 12. So 0.12 divided by 12 and 4 into 12. 0.12 divided by 12 and 4 into 0.12 divided by 12. So if you solve this entire equation and then multiply it by 5,000, you get 3,06,113. So what does it say? If the compounding happens annually, that is once in a year, then the value of this 5,000 after 4 years would be 23,896. Whereas if it compounds monthly for a period of 4 years, the value becomes 3,06,130. So this is your multi-period compounding for future value of annuity. I hope you're clear with this particular formula. Just go through it once again, and there are problems given in the assignment paper. You can just try to solve those problems for more clarifications. Let's move on to our next one small little part that is there in present value, that is the rule of 72 and rule of 69. Now what is this rule of 72? Okay, this is rule of 72. Basically these two rules talks about how much time it takes for an amount to double itself. Okay, these two rules are used to calculate the time for doubling your amount. So what does the rule of 72 says? Number of years required to double the amount is equal to 72, because it is rule of 72, the 72 divided by the interest rate whatever is given to us. So interest rate, it can be given as interest rate or also called as rate of return on investment, or in other words it is I. So 72 divided by rate of interest will give you the number of years required to double the amount. In the second case, it is rule of 69. Now what does rule of 69 says? Number of years required to double the amount is equal to 69, because it is rule of 69. The 69 divided by rate of interest plus 0.35. Now this 0.35 is a constant. So when it is 72, rule of 72, it is just 72 divided by rate of interest, whereas in case of rule of 69 it is 0.6, it is 69 divided by rate of interest plus 0.35. So there are questions related to rule of 72 and rule of 69 in the assignments given. Kindly go through the assignment questions and try to solve these two problems. One thing that you need to remember, very important point to be remembered in case of the rule of 69 and rule of 72, is the rate of interest should be taken as a whole number. As a whole number means if it is 15%, you have to take it as 15, not 0.15 as we take it in the previous formulas. I repeat, 15% becomes only 15, or else 10% is 10. It is not 0.10. So always whenever you are using this rule of 72 or rule of 69, rate of interest should be a whole number. So it should be either 15, 10 or 12. Do not take it as 0.15 or 0.10 or 0.12. It will give you a wrong answer. So take it as a whole number. If it is 15%, it is 15. If it is 10%, it is just 10. I hope you're clear with this particular part of rule of 69 and rule of 72. I'm purposely not solving any problems on this, as it's very simple. If the amount is given as 5,000 and the rate of interest is 10%, how much time it will take to double? It would be 72 divided by 10, so 7.2 years. Similarly with 69, if it is 10,000 rupees and the rate of interest is 10%, so how much time it will take is 69 divided by 10, that is 6.9 plus 0.35, that is 7.25 years. So this is how you calculate the number of years required to double the amount using the rule of 72 and rule of 69. I hope you are clear with this particular concept of rule of 72 and rule of 69, and also with the concept of multi-period compounding of future value of annuity. So if there are any queries and questions, please get back to me on my personal WhatsApp number. You can just message me the queries. I hope you are understanding these videos, because this is almost the end of the module of time value of money. There is hardly one or two more concepts which are remaining to be taught, and I hope you are understanding these. Okay. For further references, you can read the text. You can go through the textbook for more problems, or the assignment paper also for following more and more problems. Thank you.